everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Liz. Come on in. It's tea time. It is Tuesday. Hope everyone is having an amazing Tuesday. Go ahead and share. If you are on the YouTube page, thank you for tuning in and subscribe to the page as well. How is everyone doing? Hey, Debbie, how are you? Awesome. Like I said, go ahead and share. It's going to be a great tea time. I'm super excited. This is one of my favorite guests because she's just like a sister to me. So Miss Kat is with us tonight, you all. So be sure you are sharing this live tonight. Like I said, you do not want to miss out. I forgot to link it to my page. Hang on one second. Miss out. I forgot to link it to my page. Hang on. All right. Little technical difficulties. Hey, Miss Tracy, how are you? Got your sister on here
Right.
for the
Hey.
support. Hello, Elder Dan. How are you? So excited for this conversation tonight. This whole month of May has been dedicated to motherhood and mothers. And so, if you didn't get to see Tea Time last week, I had my mom and my best friend and her mother on, and we had some great conversations to kind of see how things have changed and evolved since their time to our time as mothers, and what we still hold on to. There are just some values about being a mother that just never die, right? So
Right.
you just got to appreciate that. So before we get into this good old tea and I introduce my guest officially, let's go through our tea time announcements real quick. As you all know, we have our Tea Time with Liz mugs. If you have not got your mug yet, you can still get it. This is an exclusive black one for me, but they come in white in this size, and then there are some small kind of latte ones. These are 10, and then the bigger ones are 20. I do not benefit off of these proceeds. All of these proceeds go to helping single moms. We are going to be able to be a blessing to them here at the end of the year by, gifting them and helping them with whatever is needed. So we are already at $200. So thank you all who have already sponsored and bought cups. If you want to still just give a donation, hit me up in the DMs. We will definitely take donations as well. But you definitely want to get a mug, so you can sip while we talk, right? Um,
Yes.
so and sorry, Kat, that was my fault. I was supposed to have yours to you by today, but it should be there tomorrow. So,
That's fine.
but your cup is on the way. But anyway. Like I said, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Like I said, tonight our conversation is going to go deep. Something dear to my heart, as I had just spoke about, and that is single mothers and what that is like, how motherhood is for single mothers out here, right? But next week, let's see, next week I have my good friend, Miss Brown, who is going to come and join me. She is she's the founder of Plus Size Finds, but she has changed it into a Plus Size Finds fashion line. So
Wow.
she is going to come and talk to us about fashion and some of the things that are in her line. I'm truly, truly excited to have her on Tea Time as well again. So you definitely want to stay tuned. So like I said, this whole season, this whole second season of Tea Time is about getting your spark back in every aspect of life, right?
Yes.
However you got to do it from the inside out. So, we will definitely have more shows to come, of course, to expound on that spark. But as you have seen in other episodes, we've talked about healing, we've talked about relationships and different things. So definitely continue to strive to get your spark back. All right. Well, that is enough of me preaching, and let us get into, like I said, the tea. I am super excited to introduce my guest. She is like I said, a sister to me. We don't get to talk every day, but when we do talk, it's like we never miss a beat. She is an author of an amazing book. If you have not gotten it, it is called God Chose Me. I didn't even grab my copy, but I still have it and I still read it. she did an amazing job telling her story, and I'll let her expound more on that. But she's an author. She is a minister. She is a woman who has a heart for women. So I'm super excited to have her on Tea Time tonight. Miss Kat, we call her Kat, but Kawana Ragland. How are you tonight, ma'am?
I am doing good. And it's just an honor to be here again. I love having conversations with you. You are my sister, no matter what happens, the
Yes.
distance or anything. We
Right.
are sisters. That
We're
bond is just
here.
unbreakable, right? So
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Um, yes, I'm an author. And you know what? I got a copy of my book. I,
What? Go ahead and show it off, girl. Show it
Look,
off.
I gotta show it off. I gotta show it off. This is my baby called God Chose Me.
Yes.
And when I say this is my baby, this is just who I am. If anyone wanted to ever ask a question about who I am, this is me embodied. My trials and tribulations and how God brought me from there to here in this place right now. And so it's just an honor to I'm going to say it was an honor to write that book, not an honor, and to give it to someone else for to touch another person. I struggled with that book. Everyone knows how hard it was for me to just release it to everyone. But once I followed God and heard Him say, "Give it to the world,"
Mhm.
the cause that came in and the people that supported was amazing. So I thank everyone for all the support and love that was given in that process because believe me, that was really hard to tell your truth
Yeah.
and have other people read it and to judge you at the same time. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna tell you,
Okay.
it
Okay.
is
I'm
not
just like a piece of
easy.
you out there, like Lord help.
It is not easy. So
It isn't.
it
No,
was great. It was great.
that's
Struggled,
awesome.
but great.
Yeah, but you took that leap of faith, and you know what? God has truly blessed. As like I said, we had two episodes because it was so good, you guys.
Yeah.
Last season, you could definitely check them out on YouTube because the conversation was so good and so deep. And if you are dealing with anything, I mean, literally anything in your life, that is definitely the book to get it from her. I think you can still get it on Amazon. Is it?
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
Okay, and you can also DM her, however you choose.
Yes, DM me, let me know. I'm always willing to give a copy, send a copy. It doesn't matter. I'm going to send it to you. I'll express it. Just let me know.
Yeah, see, and she's such a giver, y'all. I just love her. Amen. So, let's see. So you've been doing this book journey. You just working hard, doing you. But you're looking great. So I want to say that. Shout out to you on that.
Hey, look, thank you.
Get a little shine here and there.
Like, let me shine. Go ahead, Diamond. You got, you rock
Okay.
too.
So, do you have anything upcoming that we should be looking out for or considering?
Okay.
Um,
Oh, that's a good one. Yes, consider. Um, I'm still in the works, and it's funny because one of just a customer, I work for American Family, and a customer, we were just talking, and he was like, he gave me his testimony, just gave
mhm,
it to me, and he was like, and I told him about my book, and he was like, I'm gonna go purchase it right now, and he went and purchased the book. 2 weeks later, he for some reason he got me again, right? And he tells me, I'm reading your book. I need you to start a new one. And I'm like, uh, excuse me, no, thank you.
I'm just, drying my pits from the sweat from the last
Right. I'm
one.
like, I didn't even want to give birth this one. I don't want to birth another one.
Yes.
And
Oh
but
God.
it made me laugh because I am working on something and it's called the seasons, the four seasons. And
Amen.
it's about God changing us in the process. We go through the four seasons. And I was just coming to a revelation that there's always seasons, always change, and I compare our seasons with the change that God get put us through in life. And so we shall see what it comes up. We shall see. I'm
Awesome.
excited. So right now I think I'm in the winter, not the winter season. I think I'm in the spring season.
Okay.
I have my seeds have been planted and now I'm being watered. And I
Yeah.
want to say this. I don't want to be watered anymore. Stop pouring, Lord. Stop pouring.
Okay, let me just soak in what has been poured into me, right?
Yes, yes. So let me just oh my gosh. And so I'm growing, I'm
That's
blossoming, and
awesome.
by the summer, whenever I get to the summer season, I'll be in full bloom and walking
Yeah.
into what God has given me to give to
Amen.
others.
Amen. Well, I'm super excited for this next book, Four Seasons. So,
Yes.
you all definitely, like I said, follow her here on Facebook. You can follow her. I know she's on Instagram and couple other platforms. So, definitely get in touch with her so you can keep
Yes.
up when that next book comes out. Because trust me, I'm sure she'll be back on Tea Time
Yes.
as we will discuss and cry and do all that we did last time.
Yes,
So.
we will.
Which so and that's why I have her here tonight, because there was nobody else that I could think of better to talk about this very topic, and about single moms, motherhood for single mothers. That sometimes it can be a struggle, but sometimes it's a blessing. But it's going through the process of different, once again, different seasons, as your children evolve and grow, and as you as a woman, as a mother, do as well. So let's get into this tea, Kat.
Yes.
So you are a single mother, of course, and so and you have sons. So tell me about your experience as a single mother.
Wow. Where do I begin, right?
Right?
Um, I definitely want to begin with you raised that question and what is, the single mom stereotype, right?
Right.
And I to this morning when I got up, I was thinking about it. And then I was at work and I'm thinking about it. And so I was looking up the definition of a single mom, right?
Mm,
And it said a mother who brings up a child or children alone without a partner. And then I went and got another definition of a single mom. It says the most common description of a single mother is a woman who has been left by the father of her child to raise their
wow.
children alone, but it is not simple, right? and
Wow.
and I was like, and I asked, and I
Yeah.
started asking Elijah. I was like, Elijah, what is a single mom to you? He was like, you single, you don't have nobody. And I started laughing. And so, for those that don't
Yes.
know, Elijah is my son, and he's my youngest son. He's 19, and he's looking at me like, why are you asking me this question? Like, and I wanted to know what he thought about me as being a single mom. My experience with being a mother, I can say I had some hard times.
Mm,
Um, I love ages between 2 and 6, I believe. Those are my favorite ages because you can get all the hugs and kisses, right? You get
right.
all these hugs
Right.
and kisses. They're so emotional, they're so friendly.
Yes,
And
they need
then
you.
you begin to go through the stage where I don't know if I like girls or my mom right now. She's a little irritating.
Right.
And so then, you get to that kind of awkward stage where they're still trying to figure some things out. But
Yes.
then there's that teenage, oh my gosh. But I kind of look forward to that because I was trying to make sure my kids knew I was crazy. So,
Mm.
I think I portrayed that one really well, a
Yes.
little crazy because
Listen, you gotta let them know, sis.
you
You
gotta
gotta
let
let
them
them know.
know that you're a little crazy, in that process of raising them before 14 and 17, because those are stages in their lives where they're developing, finding out who they are, and making choices on their own.
Right.
And one of the amazing parts about being a single mom for me was kind of installing my point of views and then
Mm,
compromise with someone else's point of views at that point.
mm,
Um, And one of the main things was for me, and it was so dear to my heart, was have my young men around positive men.
Mm,
In the
okay.
church, I
Yeah,
wanted them in church around strong black men for them to see the model. I didn't want them to see the negative because, again, we can let them go outside in the world to see
right,
that.
right.
But to teach the positive and to allow them to see the
Mhm.
positive in our black man was so important to me raising my two boys because it's nothing like having a strong, positive man
Right.
in your life to push you and
Right.
motivate you to move forward.
So good. No, that's so good. Oh my gosh. So like this is just the tip of the iceberg, but you raised so much already. So but and it's so funny that you even asked your son, which that cracked me up. What is a single mom? Like, dang, you just don't have nobody. But that I mean, and even as you gave those definitions, it definitely says you're doing it partnerless, right?
Yes.
You have to definitely wear all the hats. And I think that to me was something I had to learn as a single mom is to wear all the hats, to make
Yes.
you know, quick decisions, to make sure everybody's together, to make sure the household financially is together, to then also give your part as a mother, just
Hmm.
nurturing and loving. And sometimes that gets limited because of the financial burden. You know,
Yes.
you have to
Yes.
work multiple jobs. So, you know, there's a lot. But as we spoke before, we talked about just the stereotype. Let's talk about that, right? So,
Right.
you know, I feel like there's a stereotype for single moms. Sometimes it can also be a label or a crutch. I feel like sometimes we will use to have people feel sorry for us.
Yes.
I know I did. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and funk fake the funk like I didn't do it
Uh-huh.
because I'd be like, "Whoa, it's me." But I think you get to a point, like I said, it's a process, you
Yes.
know. You get to a point though that you know you're no different than any other woman out here. Um,
Mhm.
just this is a hands in the cards that God dealt you, and
Right.
you just got to kind of go through the journey. But what's your take on the stereotype or the label single mother or single mom?
Oh, you know what? Why can't I just be a mother, right? So let me just throw
Ooh,
straight in. Why can't I be a mother? Why do I have to be called a single mother? Yes, I am single, but I'm a mother first, right?
right.
Um, the single part is because I choose to be single. You know, he didn't leave me. I walked away. It was a decision, it was a choice that I made for me and my two boys. It was a
Right.
decision that needed to be made. And when I made that decision, the weight that lifted from me being a mother, because I'm not going to call myself a single mother, I'm a mother. And it was the best thing that I could have ever done. You know, would I ever do it again? No, I don't want to be. So
Yes, we ain't signed up for this.
you,
Okay.
you know, it's not it's a joy to be a mother. It's wonderful, right? Um, being single is another choice, and I love being single too. But if I had the choice to do it over, maybe I would have been married, but even if I probably was married, I would be the single mother because I probably would have been doing a lot of things on my own if I would have chose to stay in a
Right.
situation. Um, but the stereotype, I don't like that. I don't like to be the baby mama. Don't call me a baby mama because I'm not a baby mama.
Well,
I'm not a single. I'm a mother. I'm a mother first.
that's good.
Everything else can fall behind. You know what I mean?
Right. No, and I totally agree. I love that when we were talking about that, that you made that point that we don't have to put our status in order to be classified or to be looked at within the community, right?
Right.
But they still tend to put this single mother status
Yes.
upon us. And
Yes.
say statistics say if you come from a single mother home or a single parent home, you know there's a lot of downfall, a lot of things that you miss. And I mean rightfully so, you know there's only
Right.
one person, you know, doing it all, you know,
Doing it
so
all. But
doing
and
it all.
and it's funny because our kids don't get less. And you
Mhm.
know what? Let me not say. Maybe they do get a little less, right?
Right.
Um, but it was a choice that we had to make as the individual, to provide or move in a different direction than our spouse or our boyfriends, or whatever the situation was at
Right.
that point. But my boys still played football. They still came from a loving home. They still got everything they needed. Yes, did I struggle a little bit? Yes. Financially, I did. Did I use different type of benefits? Yes, I use it to my best benefit, right?
Listen.
I didn't allow it to handicap me. I
Right.
used it to grow from where I was. And I can stand and say, it was okay. I got my link card, baby.
Okay.
But but let me just also tell you, I don't got one no more. You know,
Right. Right. You make too much.
right?
Amen.
Hello, I make too much. Now they like, could you please move to the side? Excuse me. We need
Excuse
no,
you.
and
Yes.
and
Yes.
so that stereotype to say single mothers can't financially take care of their children. Single mothers it's struggle, is hard to raise kids on your own. But here's my favorite one. It's hard to raise boys into man, right? That's the stereotype that
Definitely.
single mothers get.
Yeah.
You can't raise a man.
Hmm.
Hmm. Maybe I can't, but guess what? With God by my side, there's nothing that's
Listen,
impossible. Okay,
nothing. Okay. You better use the word. Come on. Okay.
nothing.
Nothing. No, and that's so true. And I think, that's something we definitely have to put into perspective. There is nothing impossible, regardless if you're a single mom, you do have a family. Like, we all are striving for something, right? We all have a
Mhm.
purpose. We all have a plan that has been given by God. Like I
Yes,
said, it's just a matter of what your journey looks like versus others. And so, for some of us, it is this single mom. Label or stereotype, but it doesn't define you as a woman. It doesn't define you, who you are and what you will become. And
yes,
so, let's go back a little bit. Like you said, you had to use the benefits. And I'm, like I said, I'm gonna be very open to. I definitely did as well. I had to use daycare assistance. I had to use rental assistance.
yes,
Um, and I remember telling you this. I was like, it was the best time of my life
yes.
because it was something that was lifted off of me, that I didn't have to necessarily think about how our next rent bill was going to get paid or any of that nature. That I knew my son always had a place to go,
Mhm.
so I could work. It's not something that's causing me to be stressed to not be able to function.
That's
I
right.
think sometimes we forget that when you are struggling as a single mother, there are things that will try to stop you.
Yes,
Because you're under so much stress and trying to figure out how you're gonna plan your next step, right?
right.
So, like I said, and because of that, I was able to go back to school. I was able to, start getting my degree and moving forward. But we aren't necessarily, statistically, we are single, right? But
Yes.
but as they say, it takes a village to raise a family. And I think, I definitely had a village. Did you have support besides yourself?
Yes, I and like you said, it takes a village, right? So I had a village. Not only did my kids, they still had their father involved, right? But they also had two loving uncles. They had my dad stepped in big time. Not only did my father, my brothers, but the church stepped in. Um, and my sisters, oh my gosh, my sisters stepped in. I can remember times when my sisters would come over and be like, "What you want to do? You want to fight today? Because we good. Let's do it." And so it was everybody taking a turn to nurture and grow my boys. So that was the most important part too. That you had everyone helping, and not only did I have family, my community. I moved to a nice small community, and they were there when I couldn't be there. It was times when they couldn't make a football games, but other parents came in and was like, "Oh, we got this, Kawana, go to work, enjoy yourself. We'll take care of everything." So like you said, it takes a village, and
Yeah.
you have to pick the right village, right?
That's true. I was gonna say it does take a village, but it's making sure you have the right village, right?
Yes.
And most of the time it is that family support.
Hmm.
So shout out to the families.
Yes.
Definitely, I give shout out to my whole entire family because they all helped out, especially when I moved back home. My sisters, even my brother, he was in high school at the time, and he hung out with his basketball players. They helped out too. Like
Yes.
my son thought he was one of the members. So it was funny, but he had older people to look up to, like you said, just to be able to have that support.
Yes.
Male support,
Hmm.
thank shout out to my father as well for always being here, and even like you said, their dads. Some of us single moms have that
Yes.
advantage of having that father still in their lives. Some do not. It all depends on the story,
Yes.
but we're going to focus on us because that's all
Right.
we can control. That's a whole nother tea
That's
time
a
we'll
whole
talk
nother
about.
tea time.
We'll talk about that later. But it just being able to have that help does ease the struggle.
Yes.
So just shout out to all the younger single moms out there. Don't be
Yes.
afraid to ask for help or a day off. You need your moment too, because you are no good if you out here stressed out, lacking sleep and everything else, right?
Yes. Yes. Because it do kick in. It kick in.
Girl, it kicks in real quick, real fast. So, um, okay, so we have our support system,
Right.
and but overcoming this label. So going through the process, like you said, you started, having to take some, help from county, state, whatever.
Right.
But how did you work your way out of those hands?
Well, oh wow. I think I it and you know what, this is a funny story, Liz. I was in a public aid office one day, and I was I think it was I was sitting in the waiting area for about an hour, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's not this." I got irritated, so frustrated. I was
Right.
like, "It is not this important. What they're not giving us $1 million. I can't take this." And I
Yeah.
think my case manager walked past me, um and she was like, "Yeah, I heard you out there saying that you don't need this." I said, "Okay, and she was like, "Well, if you don't need it, why you here?" I said, "You know what? You're absolutely right. Why am I here?" I said, "But I sure do need them food stamps for an extra month, and after that month, I'll be through." After that, and it was so true. After that month, I pushed myself even harder to
Mhm.
work harder, to make sure I got a job that I really wanted, and work more hours. I didn't need the benefit anymore, and it was like, okay, cool. They were I think it was like at the time, because I was 18 when I had my first son. Um and the benefit package was like $200 a month.
Wow.
And I'm like, you know what? I can do a simple job, work full time, and make more than $200 a month, right?
Right.
So that's where I started at. I pushed myself to not be in the system because they wanted to know too much of my business. They wanted to know where you at, where you going, who you working for, what's this. I don't feel like filling out that form all the time.
Every time.
So I took myself off of food share and pushed myself to be better. And ever since then, every time I see something that I wanted, I increase my knowledge.
Mhm.
I push myself and move forward. It was hard, but I made it work. I got my first job making over, I think it was like over $18 an
Wow.
hour when I was 23.
Wow.
And then I started not doing that, but I started a second job and I started pushing myself. So it was goals that was set in the back of my mind that
Mhm.
I wanted. And so when you are hungry for something,
Right.
you go get it.
Go for
And
it.
that's what I was about. I was hungry for something different, and I didn't want to be the stereotype. So
Right.
I used it to my benefit. And yes, I got off of it early, but guess what? I got back on it too
Mhm.
because I needed that push. I needed a little extra when I moved from state to state. I moved to Wisconsin. And so I used that. And I think I stayed on it for a year and was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm done.
That's awesome.
I'm done.
Wow.
So, we when we need it, we need it. But here's what I always tell people that I used to work with, and when I used to be a case manager: use the benefits to your best ability.
Hmm.
Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop using it because everyone is saying, "Oh, you on welfare." So what? Some of the best people was on welfare. They used it to their benefit,
Yeah.
and you grow from it.
Yeah.
You know, just you grow from what you fail, you get back up, and you
You
keep
learn, you
moving.
keep moving. Yeah. No, I totally agree. I totally agree. But let's talk about these county visits, though. Okay, because let's talk about these county offices. Just
Girl,
a
that
moment.
whole trip.
Ma'am. Okay, listen. Okay, I've been to two. Okay, two different counties. I was in Minnesota at the time when my story of becoming a single mom. I got divorced, and so I was in my early 20s. So I had to try to make ends meet, and so I had to go to the Minnesota county office. Those people don't have no hope, no joy, no nothing in there. I think that's in every office. I don't think
Yes.
I've heard anybody say, "Oh, I have like the nicest county office ever," because everybody in there is like, "What do you want?"
Hmm.
You can't have. Well, we need this. They're just so they're so negative or
Yes.
just very aggressive,
Hmm.
and so you already, because let's be real, you already feel bad that you have to go ask for help, like you're humbled, there's nothing else you can do,
That's
right?
right.
And
Right.
so I'm at the mercy of you. Then I have this person who's making it even worse by just being super like mean or aggressive.
Yes.
And then they continuously, like you said, they get all in your business.
Hmm.
I think there was the one county here. I was giving my tithes and offering, like I had to put that on there,
Right.
and he was like, we can't we you can't be doing that. I said, excuse you. um I said, no, that's not negotiable.
Right. What? What are you talking about?
That's not a negotiable situation. Like I gotta give my tithes and offering. That is essential here.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, that's your problem. I said, no, it's not my problem. So I
Wow.
said, this is definitely not where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
But like I said, you have those humbling moments. But it's very hard to keep driving yourself to be positive, to
Hmm.
to find hope, to not have to feel what you feel when you walk into those types of
Yes.
places.
Yes.
So, like I said, shout out to all those single moms who have to still go through those processes.
Yes.
I just keep encouraged. Know that every day is not going to be like this.
That's right.
That's what I remember telling myself, that one day it's all going to change, that
Hmm.
nothing lasts forever. And
Yes.
so, as long as I keep, like you said, keep striving, keep moving,
Hmm.
I will be able to get there. And I thank God that actually the company I worked for, my boss was a single mother of two boys, and she was like, you know what, you can do this, and
Yes.
you don't have to go on welfare. She's like, use it for your benefit, like you
Hmm.
said, but I just want you to see a product of a manager who has two sons and has a home. She bought a home on her own. She did it all, and
Yes.
now she owns her own company. So like,
Yes.
I thank God that he's given me people like that to say, you don't have to be another statistic.
Correct.
And I think that's really what we want to encourage, all these single moms out here, is that you don't have to be another statistic. You don't have to even accept the label, because people will be people,
Yes.
and people will continue to look at you as a statistic and to say,
Hmm.
you just using the government money, because you got nails and hair and all this stuff. But
Yes.
that's not necessarily true. I work for mines, okay?
Hello.
These nails don't come off of, no benefit of it
That's
of the
right. That's
thing.
right.
And I and guarantee you the same for other
Yes.
mothers. And
Yeah.
so you got to feel like a woman sometimes. You got to feel good about yourself. You
You
can't throw
do.
yourself to the side, even though we do put our children first, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I just wanted to talk about that whole county situation because let's just be real, they ain't nice out here.
They are not nice. They are
They're
not
not
nice.
nice. But another thing that you pointed out though, and I think we've kind of already talked about a little bit is
Mhm.
just the drive of a single mother.
Yes.
Um, you like I said, sometimes we get put in places that we have to make instant decisions. We have to, take what is given to us. You may be at work, you got a sick child, what do you do, kind of situation.
Yes.
Or like you said, they got sports, they got different things. How do I manage to just try to keep ends meet? So
Mhm.
talk about your intuition a little bit. I mean, I don't know if you can even put it into words, but talk about that drive that you had. Like, what was it that kept you striving?
Oh my goodness. I One of the things that kept me going was I wanted to be my ideal was a perfect mother, right?
Mhm.
Um, but there's no such thing of a perfect mother. And the older I got, the more I realized that. I wanted to try to be there for every event for my children. I wanted to attend every assembly, just be the best cheerleader that I possibly can.
Right.
Um, yeah, that didn't happen, right?
Right.
Um, because some days I think Monday through Friday I was up at 5 a.m. um and out the door by 6:15 to get to my first job. And then my second job will be like at 9 o'clock. And so then I was going from my first job to my second job. And in between that time, the boys were a little bit between they were like 10 and 11, right? No, 10 and 12.
Okay.
So Jason, which is the oldest one, would make sure Elijah was good. But guess what? I used to cook dinner early in the morning. I would get up, pop the crock pot on, um, make a breakfast, or just have the frozen breakfast, the frozen foods in there in the freezer, have it set out. So when they got up, they grab it and do their thing.
Right.
Um, did I miss a lot of things? I did miss out on a lot of things. But do I regret it? I do regret it at times,
Yeah.
but it was so worth it
Right.
because they made it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, they went through elementary, they went to middle school, they went through high school, and guess what? They both went to college. So the process of me driving myself, my drive was them. They were my motivation. I used to laugh and say they were my pimps. And it's funny
Yeah.
because
I love it. Yes.
because they took all my money, right?
Wow. Wow.
Let's be
Wow.
honest. My car was like, tick, 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 tick. The engine was going.
Right.
It was just
Right.
a lot of stuff that was going on. I lived in an apartment. We lived in an apartment. I wasn't able to buy that home, but it didn't matter because we lived in a great neighborhood.
Right.
They was in a great school system. So I think I know my motivation
Yeah.
more than anything was striving to be a good mother and be there emotionally for my children, and pushing them to be better than who I am.
That's good. That's awesome. And that's exactly it. Like obviously it is your kids that make you have that drive, that
Mhm.
you like you said, you get up every day, whatever time that may be to do what you
Right.
got to do. And regardless of what your bedtime is, you still got to hit the mark, right? And so I definitely, like I said, I commend you and all the strength and the wisdom that carried you through.
Yes.
um, and to shout out to, like I said, to all the mothers out there, the single moms that
Yes.
that you are able to balance that. I don't care what nobody says, a single mom is probably the best planner you got out here. in
And
these streets.
for
Listen.
real, like, cause you do things, you're a procrastinator. You think you have to think on your toes. You're like boom, boom,
Absolutely.
boom, boom. And for the organizers, I give huge shout out to you if you can schedule everything. But the only thing I think I
Color
did
coded and all that.
schedule right. I think I just scheduled. I just knew what time the game started, right, and knew
Listen, no.
where I had to be. But other than that, listen, you better eat this peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and we gotta
We
go.
gotta roll. We gotta
Let's
roll. We gotta
go.
keep it moving. Gotta keep it moving. No, and
Shoot.
that is real. And literally, you do. You just keep it moving. And
Yes.
the amazing thing about this is that kids don't know any different.
No.
They this is something that they just are happy to be with mom and whoever, as long as they're getting what they need in the whole aspect of life. Right.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
did you have what were some of your challenges though, as a single mom or as a mother, raising two boys? What were some of your other challenges?
My favorite challenge, I'll my disciplining was really challenging. And I say that because I'll never forget my son had a curfew. He was 16 at the time, right? And so of course you have a curfew. You're 16. And his curfew was like at I think 9:30 or 10 o'clock.
Hmm.
And I think I was out at a church function, and he texted me and said, "Mom, I'm going to be running late." And I was like, "No, no, you're not. You're going to be at home at the time that I told you you're going to be at home." And so he said to me, he was like, "You're covering me like a blanket." And I'm like, what? I'm covering. I was like, what kind of mess is that? Like, what are you
Right.
talking about?
Right.
And so it took me a minute to catch on. And I just cracked up after I got off the phone with him, um, because he wanted the curfew that everybody else had, right? He
Right.
wanted to do what everybody else and his peers, all his peers, they didn't have to come home until 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Well, in my household, you got to come in at 10 o'clock. There's nothing in the streets after midnight. So
Girl,
why are we going
listen.
to be in the street after midnight, right?
Right. Right.
We got things to do, and I don't. You're not coming to my house while I'm asleep and wake me up in the middle of the night. So disciplining was really hard for me because you have these young men that's bigger than you. I'm only like 5'3". My oldest son was like 6'1", and then my youngest son is 6'5". So here I am, this little short lady, like da 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 da, and they looking at me like, "Lady, go sit down somewhere."
Right.
So the older they got, the more forceful I was. I had to learn how to be consistent with punishment. I had to learn how to stand my ground.
Mm,
And I think that we as mothers sometimes lose that battle with standing
yeah.
our ground,
Yeah.
and learning not to be their friend, right?
Hmm.
And that was so important to me. I'm not your friend. I'm not your buddy. I'm your mother, and you're going to respect me.
Right.
And I will embarrass you to a T. And so, look, it was challenging. My oldest son, I can remember when he got to the point when he was like 17, he was like, "I don't gotta be here, I don't gotta do nothing you tell me to do." And he kind of got like swole up in the chest and got like
Oh, oh,
and
sir.
he got in my face, and I was like, we finna do, you want me to act West Side? Do you want me to be ghetto?
Man, listen.
I and
Don't
you
let
know
this type fool you, okay?
right. And I used some bad grammar. I think I was like, "Nigga, what? Like
Mhm.
what? You're testing me, you're challenging me, you want to do this?"
Right.
I felt like I was a chick in the street, and
Right.
this was some chick who wanted to battle. So
Right. Like, I can handle mine. So let's do
I
this.
can handle mine because we all know once they get a certain age, the challenging begins.
Yeah.
And so that I think that was the hard part. The older they got, the more challenging it began. And so when when Elijah began to be a teenager, oh, I was excited about it because now I'm ready, right? I got
Right,
all
like
I got my
you knew
shield on, I got my
him.
sword,
Yes, yes.
and so I'm coming equipped. And so that was challenging for me the first time around, but the second time around it wasn't. He was more like, oh, okay, mom, whatever. Okay, I'll be mindful. You know, so I think that that was the most challenging part, being consistent and disciplining and not breaking, because your kids will make you break.
Yeah, no, and like I said, raising two men,
Yes,
young men at that, and especially in the atmosphere that we're dealing with today, I'm sure that puts even an extra burden on you as a
yes,
mother, to know that you not only have to make sure they're good, but then you got to make sure they're safe and
yes.
they know how to handle themselves,
Hmm.
conduct themselves, accordingly. And so I get that. And I'm not there yet. My son's 12. I'm getting there. So pray for me. Um,
I will.
I wish he would try to challenge me, but we'll see. We're good right now. We're good right now. We just,
Right.
we may get a little smart, but we're good.
We good. We
Um,
good.
so we're good. But yeah, I can definitely say that today it is a little bit more challenging.
Yes.
I think just period, just raising your children by yourself. Like I said,
Oh,
with
me
the
too.
atmosphere, whether you have minorities or even um, children, period. But
Hmm.
because you just never know. Because I mean, it's just not the police that we have to deal with, but it's
Right.
also, these sex traffickers, the
Yes.
kidnappers, and
Yes.
so forth. I was just thinking about this the other day. I was hopefully I don't date myself, but I was like, my mom and dad used to let me like, go to the public swimming pool. I had no cell phone,
Right.
just trusted that I would be there and get
Uh
back
huh.
home, right?
Right.
And so I was like, wow, like, but look at how society has changed today that most kids do have phones,
Yes.
and probably tracking devices on them as well.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so I get why your son would probably say you like a blanket or a helicopter mom is what they call it.
Right.
Right. So but it's just something you have to do. Once again, when you're wearing both hats, you have to be the
Yes.
protector and the provider and the nurturer and
Yes.
all of that. So you do it all. I would say my challenging was probably in his younger years. I was
Hmm.
going to school and working a lot. And I remember dropping him off at daycare and he just cried. Like he was 5'6", so it wasn't that,
Hmm.
like withdrawal situation, but
Right.
he was having like a mother withdrawal. He was like, I want to go with you. I just want to go with you.
Hmm.
And that's where I kind of like, I had a breakdown moment on my
Yes.
own when I got back to the car and got him finally in the daycare was
Uh-huh.
like, um, okay, my lifestyle is affecting my son,
Hmm.
so I have to really make this time count,
Yes.
there's like nothing I can really change about it. It's something I got to do for our home, but um it was hard, it's hard to
Yep.
see your child, want you and you can't be there. It's not like you were just working at 8 to, 9 to 5 and to
Correct.
go home. But like you said, I think sometimes some of those challenges give you that extra boost or that extra energy
Hmm.
to continue to strive to really make whatever needs to change happen.
Yes.
Like you said, you don't have to always, you may not get the house right away, but if
Hmm.
you just keep yourself in a good, stable environment, that's
Yeah.
all that matters.
That's it.
And even just going back to what we were talking about, the whole accepting the assistance and not.
Yes.
I was happy when I finally got my rejection letter. Like,
Right.
you make too much. You can handle this on your
Get
own. I
out.
was like, yes. I ain't got no papers to fill out, nothing to worry about. Like,
Nothing.
I can live my life.
Yes. And Liz, and that's funny because we were talking and someone was like telling me I paid this amount for rent. I was like, man, that must be nice, huh? Can I?
Listen. I remember those days. I do. Those prices was nice.
Yes, the prices was nice. Like
The
you,
prices were
oh
nice.
yeah, that sounds nice. Do you want to pay mine too?
Right, right. And I mean, and that's the thing. But even though I may be paying, full price on my own,
Yes,
I'm glad I could do it on my own.
that's right.
I'm thankful. I'm grateful. Trust me, I do nothing without the help of the Lord, of course. But in His open doors and favor. But to be able to say, I'm providing for us in a healthy way. I mean, I've even had to make decisions on where we live for
Hmm.
his education purposes.
Yes.
For those who may not know, my son has autism as well. So making sure he has the right schooling and the right teachers and the right
Hmm.
people to pour into him. I had to move us out of a district into another district. And to be honest, it has been the best decision I've ever made for him.
Awesome.
To see him grow within his academics. His teacher
Yes.
said she's seen changes from within him for in 6 months that
Hmm.
she would see in kids in 2 years. That would take them 2 years. So that really made me feel good as a mom
Yeah.
to know that I made the right decision.
Yes.
Sometimes let's be honest, and if we talk about that for a moment, it's like, that decision making those decisions on the spot, trying to make sure that you make the right decision for your home. That
Yes.
can be very challenging.
Yes.
And knowing what direction to go and how to move. So what were some of your tools that you use to make those decisions?
Um. Oh my goodness. I think that I. I'm going to say I prayed about those decisions that I made. And one of the biggest decisions I will never regret was moving to Wisconsin. I lived in Chicago, um, and I would drive when I was living in Chicago. The boys were a little younger, but I would drive 45 minutes from where I live
Wow.
to take them to school.
Wow.
And when my mom decided to move to Wisconsin, I was like, I'm going because my mom's going, so I'm going to go. That was one of the best decisions I made for not only my kids, but for my life as well. That's why I began to grow
Yeah.
financially. And I seen a growth in my kids. Um, they had childhood friends that I've
Hmm.
never had I never had a childhood friend. My boys have childhood friends from the time they were in fourth grade until now. To
Wow.
me, that's amazing. I think that's amazing
Amazing. Yeah.
because I have not had a friend from 9 years old all the
Right.
way to 21.
Right.
And if you guys don't know, my son passed away. His name was Jason, but his friends, he's 21. He would be 22 this year. They call me to check on me.
Wow. That's
So
amazing.
it's just awesome to see what you did, what you didn't have,
Right.
you know, and say, look what I did for my kids
Right.
because they have that. And I'm so proud of myself. Um, for people to pick up the phone and call and say, Kwana, you have some amazing kids. You have amazing boys. That they love their community and I love their friends. I think I have like 12, I don't like boys, but I have 12 sons. Like
Right.
literally, their friends are my kids, and I embrace them, and they laugh at me because they be like, "Hey, Mama Ragland, she about to bring out the holy oil," and, and
Yes, I
uh,
love it. I love it.
and they knew if they spent the night at my house, that's where they were going. So, Wisconsin for me was like the biggest decision. It was the
Awesome.
best decision.
Awesome.
And education wise, it was the best education choice I made for my kids. And I know how important it is for you, Liz, to make that decision for your son to have the best.
Yeah.
And you want them to have the best, you know.
Yeah.
So that was so important to me.
That's awesome. Wow. And I think that is just something that you'll never be able to buy. Like that's
Yeah.
that that value of life that just is like it pays all the bills in your
Yes.
mind in a sense. It just overflows your heart
Yes.
to see that your hard work, your
Hmm.
efforts pay off. And I think that's with every parent. I mean, it
Right.
doesn't have to just necessarily be us mothers who choose to be single, as we have found out tonight.
Right.
That you know, we just cherish those things that we have been instilling in our children,
Yes.
and like I said, just making sure we are making the right decisions and being watchful, especially in this day and age. We got to be extra
Hmm.
careful what we allow our children to adapt to and be involved in. So that it's definitely amazing to see a hands-on parent today, you
Yes.
know. And so,
Yes.
and shout out to Miss Carol. She is
Yes.
an educator. She even said the same thing. She's like, she loves seeing parents, advocate for their children, and
Yeah.
that's what you have to do. You definitely have to be the one to speak up for your child. If
You
no
have
one
to.
else does, you got to be the one, right?
Yes.
And so, before we end, because I know we're gonna have to do a part two because we didn't even touch half of what we even talked
Half of
about.
it.
So this is going to be like the teaser part so that you all come back for part two when
Right.
in July, I think was what we set a date for. But let's talk about, like I said, we found out tonight, as you stated earlier, that single mom is a choice, right?
Yes.
So, what? Why is it a choice to be a single mom? Explain that just a little bit more, and why did you make that choice?
I say a choice is because you make that decision if you want to be a mother. You make that decision if you want to do it by yourself, or if you want to stick with someone and you know, dive out those hard times, or the situation that you in. You rather stay in a situation than to be a single mom or be a mother. But those are the choices that you make for yourself. For me, my I have two different kids. I have my kids have two different fathers. My first relationship was a very abusive relationship, so I walked away from that. And my second relationship, um, I chose to walk away because he had ambition, but that's all I seen. And I needed somebody to be a doer. I didn't want to lead the relationship. So I made a choice to walk away at that point in my life, to do it on my own because I didn't want anyone else to depend on me because I had two children. I didn't want three.
Okay, you're not raising another
Yeah,
man. Okay, gotcha.
yeah,
I get it. I get it. And that's like I said, this is the teaser because I know this can go a little bit further and we'll get into this next time.
yes,
Is because a lot of times as a mother, you have to make some decisions on, is this the best environment?
yes.
Because it really goes back to who we are as women of God.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to preach just a little bit.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yes,
but but the reason is because we're the ones that set the atmosphere of the home. We're the ones that pray. And so, even going back to the question I asked you, what were the tools you used to make those decisions? If anybody's not praying as a single mother, I choose you this day to do so. Okay.
yes,
Because that is how I made all my decisions as well. If it wasn't for my relationship with God and being able to have that avenue of prayer. So shout out to all the single moms who are praying. Like, those are some real women praying out here
yes,
then for real. Because God, and to go to that, people be like, I'm married to Jesus. No, we're not married to Jesus.
no,
But God is our head. He is the one that helps us to make those decisions when we can't. He is the one that does provide when we can't. He is the one
yes,
that, is the covering when we can't. And
yes,
so he is everything we need him to be
yes.
because we don't have somebody else. But I'm not going to say I'm married to Jesus because I'm still waiting to be found. All right.
Right, me too.
Let's just be real out here, okay? So but it is God, like I said, going back to us as women. It is, we have to know our placement. We have to know who we are and what we're made to be in the home.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so if the home is not right and isn't healthy for you or your children, you have to make that decision. And
Say it.
it can be very hard because we definitely sometimes are women who we hope, we have so much
Mhm.
hope. I mean, our faith goes deep. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
you
Yes.
can put a dead person in front of us, and we'll be like, "They're coming back
They're
alive."
gonna come. We're gonna just believe in that.
I see a breath. I see a
Yes.
breath. I see your breath. And we will hope for
Yes.
the very best, but knowing good and well God is like, listen, let it go, and I got something better, and peace and happiness. And it doesn't
Yes.
necessarily always have to be somebody else. It can,
Correct.
it's about the inner peace. It's about the inner joy and happiness, in which
Yes.
I'm going to cut it off there.
Yes. Because that's too much.
We will get into that next time when we talk on this topic again, because like I said, there's so much more to want to be able to be an encouragement to single
Yes.
mothers. Like,
Yes.
we get it, we've been there. Like I said, we all have our different struggles. Shout out to those who have more than one. I'm blessed to just be able to be a mother, so I'm grateful. But to those who have to manage multiple, that's definitely got to be even harder. So like I said, I just definitely have a heart for you, praying for you.
Yes.
We encourage you to keep going. You're doing it, girl. You
Come
keep
on.
rocking, and you will see the season change. And
Yes.
so, thank you, Kat, for joining us again tonight, and for this deep and great conversations, for being transparent. It is amazing to see God do so much for you and your sons. He has definitely brought you all a mighty long way.
Yes.
And so tonight, we never end a tea time without a giveaway. So,
That's
uh, Kat said she would like to donate a mug to someone tonight. So, you will go ahead. Do you want to just do a number pick?
yeah,
And
let's do a number pick.
okay,
What is it? 1 through 10? Let's do 1 through
one through we'll do 1 through 20 just to be on
Okay.
the safe side, because I don't know if my counter's right or not.
Okay.
And I know we got some YouTube viewers, so shout out to you all on YouTube.
Yes.
I do see your comments, so shout out to JoJo, and I see Lanita on there as well. So thank you all for tuning in.
Yes.
For that, all you viewers out there who are still watching, if you pick a number between 1 and 20, you will be that lucky person who will get that free Tea Time with Liz mug. It will be white. It will be like this, but it will be in white tonight. So, just put your numbers in there. A quick recap of what is to come next week. Like I said, I have my good friend, Miss Brown, who is coming and joining us to talk about fashion. So, all you fashionistas out there, those who want a little, spark, need a little change, want to see what's out there in these streets,
Come on now.
come hang out with us. With Miss Tashana Brown, who is the founder of Plus Size Finds fashion line, management line that she has developed here and will be launching here very, very soon. Super excited. And then the month of June is, as we did for Mother's Day, or for Mothers in May, we're doing for Fathers in June. So I'm excited for some great conversations
Yes.
coming up in June. I have my father, my brother, who will be joining me, my brother-in-law and his father, and one of my good friends, Mr. Ahmad. He will be joining me as well, Mod Bell. He's known as Victorious, a Christian rapper, but his story is amazing. His testimony is amazing
Awesome.
on fatherhood. And then we are going to do a cooking segment as well, so we can make amazing Father's Day dinner for our
Mm.
fathers out here. I appreciate all of our men out here, because it's got to be hard to be a man these days.
Yes.
So much against you, so much, to be, praying against and for, and just the little bit of just saying to for life. That's sad that we are getting to that place. And so we want to honor all the men in our lives, whoever they are. So stay tuned for June. I'm truly excited. But before we get into the month of June, June 1st, we're going to have our game night, y'all.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm excited. It's been a minute. We're going to be playing culture tags, as we did last a couple months ago, actually. So you guys definitely, we always have a good time on game night. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So I'm excited for all the good things coming up on Tea Time. So I think I've talked enough and advertised enough. Like I said, follow Miss Kawana, Miss Kat on all her social media platforms. I'm sure she will post all her tag names and so forth,
Yes.
so that you can DM her if you'd like to get her book. Otherwise, it is available on Amazon as well. So we only got two takers. It looks like no other numbers have popped up. We got 13 and 7. Who is it going to be?
Ooh, it's gonna have to be the 13 because I was thinking about 17.
All right, Aunt Debbie, hello. Thank you for staying. So, Aunt Debbie, you will be the lucky winner of the Tea Time with Liz mug. So, I will make sure I will get that to you. So, shout out to Miss Debbie for winning that mug tonight.
Yes.
Next week I will definitely have two mugs to give out,
Ooh.
to people. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned for that as well. So once again, thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, we will talk to you later. Have a good night,
Bye. Have a good
everyone.
night, everyone.